During my time doing my series What Were People Watching, available now to watch on YouTube, I not only watch the summer movies, but I also watch a bunch of other movies in between each summer of the 1980s, so I see other stuff just to give me an idea of what else came out that year. I'll watch anything that has a recognisable face on the poster or director attached to it that I know. It's been nice to see different sides of actors you never knew they had. Like, for example, did you know that Daniel Day-Lewis was in a quirky comedy in the 1980s called Stars and Bars, playing a bumbling Englishman years before Hugh Grant ever turned that into his shtick?
I know this is bad. It's not what it seems. I can explain. Stop hitting me!
Certain people have this rose-tinted view of 1980s movies, remembering only the hits like Back to the Future or Beverly Hills Cop, but a nice revelation about watching a lot of these films is that the 80s was about as decent in its hit-to-miss ratio as the movies are today. For every one good movie like Ghostbusters, there's about 5 below average ones that came out. This pattern of there being more crap than classics is comforting in a way. We're proceeding along the same route as before, doing no better and no worse than our predecessors, but along the way I've come across some really strange movies that I don't think get mentioned a lot. Nowadays, weird and bad movies are almost as celebrated as good ones.
You are lying, I never hit you! You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
Here they come! It's you! It's you!
There's a whole subgenre of videos where people watch bad movies and report on them for big views, so it would be nice to bring a few other weird films to the table to shine a spotlight on them. So I thought I would do a countdown of the 10 weirdest 80s films that time has forgotten. These are all movies that came out outside of the 1980s summer seasons. As any weird summer movies during that time I talk about in What Were People Watching. Have I mentioned that show already? Number 10, it's Ironweed, a drama where we follow Jack Nicholson and Meryl Streep playing two dishevelled hobos. Remember a few years back when film fans were mocking Leonardo DiCaprio for living in a forest to get his Oscar nom for The Revenant? Well, spare a thought for poor Meryl Streep, who in Ironweed had to wank off a homeless man for her Oscar nomination.
Yes,
do it. Do it.
A serial killer has New York City by the throat.
At number 9, it's The January Man. In 1989, Kevin Kline was hot property. He would win his Academy Award for A Fish Called Wanda around this period, so Hollywood decided to capitalise on this by making him a cop in this film. Oh wait, he's a fireman at one point.
Right, you're a fireman.
What the hell is he? It feels like the makers of this were trying to ape the Lethal Weapon or Beverly Hills Cop films. They're movies where they took SNL stars or angry Australians and gave them a gun and a few quirks, and they got box office success for it, so why can't the same formula work for Kevin Kline? The problem is that they give Kline too many weird quirks. For one thing, he's a cop who has a mustache, who likes to cook weird food for people. He also has a pet parrot and even a pet Alan Rickman playing his aloof sidekick. He likes espresso, he listens to music, he likes eating squirrels, he likes The story sees this hipster detective who was hired by his brother Harvey Keitel to find a killer in New York. He solves this case when he figures out that all the killer's victims' apartment locations create a code that plays a tune, so he uses one of those fancy new computers everyone was raging about at the time to somehow figure out the next note of the tune and predict the next victim.
Virgo. Ed, there's a star missing. Find it. Get a star chart to scale.
And then when Kline finally catches the killer, we don't even get a satisfying ending. We don't find out who done it in this woeful whodunit.
Does anybody know this guy?
Who he is ain't important. Has a problem with him. He's nobody.
Yeah, sure, end of the day, just let the guy go. In fact, does anything really matter anymore? I hope the police were this philosophical next time they give me a speeding ticket.
Guess what happened when 150 midgets checked into a hotel in Hollywood to make one of the world's biggest movies?
Up next, it's Under the Rainbow, a strange comedy about the making of The Wizard of Oz, showing all the little people that were hired for the film staying and causing chaos in a local California hotel. And just to make it more confusing, there's a plot about a Nazi spy who's in the hotel passing around secret plans for how Hitler will invade the US, but the plans get mixed up with the script of The Wizard of Oz, and then it goes to that person, and that guy thinks he's a Nazi agent, and oh, the hijinks everywhere. Chevy Chase and Carrie Fisher star in this, and Star Wars enthusiasts will be interested to know Princess Leia has a scene where she runs around in her underwear.
And I suppose that's your gun, huh?
Oh no, I wear a shoulder holster.
He means his cock.
Emilio
Estevez.
They told me that when I grew up, I could be whatever I wanted to be.
Wisdom tells the tale of a young man played by Emilio Estevez who is struggling to find his way in this topsy-turvy world where we don't know who is right and who is wrong.
What the hell was going on here? How is it possible that America let this problem get so out of control?
He wants to one day settle down with his girlfriend Demi Moore, maybe get a job in computers or accounting and have a few kids. Or he can grab a machine gun and drag his girlfriend around a bunch of banks and shoot up all the bank records.
I discovered a way to temporarily screw the system.
Estevez and Demi Moore go on the run, and it turns out their crusade of taking down the banking system, man, is so popular they become modern day Robin Hood figures.
Hi. Nice to meet you, sir. My other guy. How are you? How you doing? How are you?
I'm gonna get it.
So will Emilio Estevez's anarchist ways change society and work out well for him in the end?
Wait, it's not loaded!
Now. At 6, it's Soul Man, a 1986 film about a kid who can't get into Harvard, so he finds a legal loophole where he can get funding if he poses as a black student.
Congratulations, Mr. Watson.
Thank you, sir. I'll do my best.
He achieves this by swallowing tanning pills, but it's not all fun and games at college as he also experiences the realities of living as a person of colour. Fortunately, the makers of this film make every attempt to address the situation of race with dignity and grace.
Go get my heroin and my hypodermic needle, bitch! Give me some more watermelon while you're at it.
Yes, dear.
White fat ass slut. What you looking at?
Soul Man. He didn't give up. He got down.
You know, it's weird how even classics like Back to the Future have really creepy details in that if handled badly could ruin a film. So Back to the Future has Marty McFly having a relationship with his own mother to get his dad to man up and knock him out so Marty's parents can later bone and Marty can then exist. So some writers must have seen that and figured weird relationships were fair game in Hollywood now. So because of that, we then get a forgotten comedy called Chances Are. Cybil Shepherd and Christopher McDonald are a loved up couple who are expecting their first child. But when McDonald is hit by a car, he doesn't want to go to heaven, he wants to go back to Earth so he can see his wife and his kid. So he is then reincarnated as someone new, and years later he turns into young Robert Downey Jr., who is innocently hitting on a girl at his university. He goes back to visit her at her house and they kiss.
That's my dad.
But then suddenly he sees Cybil Shepherd, and he realises that the girl he kissed is actually his daughter from a previous life.
It said that lady's my wife. And Miranda? Oh God, I kissed her.
The rest of the movie sees Downey Jr. trying to woo the MILF he only has eyes for, so we see them flirting with each other. But what's also weird about this comedy is that Ryan O'Neal is in it playing this friend of Cybil Shepherd's who is perpetually trying to win her over, right down to cooking Cybil's food like a manservant and sitting at the dinner table like he's father of the house. Eventually Downey Jr. realises that what needs to be done is let go of Cybil and let his creepy friend date his ex-wife. And when O'Neal finally shepherds Cybil to the bedroom, the news is greeted by everyone like he just passed his driving test.
Morning.
This is amazing. This is wonderful. Congratulations.
Yay, you finally shagged my mom. I couldn't be happier.
Earl Keese, a reserved, hard-working homeowner, sits calmly waiting for his dinner. Little does he know, he's about to meet the neighbours.
Belushi and Aykroyd are two loved comedians who are remembered fondly for Saturday Night Live and the Blues Brothers. However, what's not fondly remembered or remembered at all is their last movie they did together. Neighbours, not to be confused with the Seth Rogen and Zac Efron vehicle years later, sees the SNL cast members playing two people living next door to each other. Belushi and Aykroyd actually swap roles, Belushi instead playing a button-down patriarch figure, while Aykroyd dyes his hair blonde to play the crazy neighbour next door. The film had a troubled production with the stars and the director not getting on, and the strange attempts at improvising humour that may have worked in other projects don't really work here. You end up with this nonsensical mess. Belushi and Aykroyd's characters don't get on at all, and then in the very next scene Belushi is sad that Aykroyd and his family are about to leave.
Some time we had, huh?
Don't drive too long.
Oh God!
Belushi isn't very likeable in it either. Are we supposed to root for him when he's sneaking out on his wife to get a blowjob from a woman he's just met?
Don't worry about Enid. She's not around. We won't be disturbed.
Riding high off the success of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Matthew Broderick's next film saw him appearing in the thriller Project X. Broderick plays an airman who works with monkeys at a military base. He learns to communicate with them and he is told mysteriously to train them to learn how to fly planes. However, it turns out that the real reason for this is that the Air Force is giving the monkeys doses of radiation.
There's no way we can be sure that pilots can survive to complete their missions if they get subjected to ionizing radiation.
It's just... For example, Virgil, the one who knows how to sign. I know that you don't believe this, but he knows how to talk.
I really shouldn't be here.
Broderick is of course conflicted about this, then he becomes furious and stages a prison break. He gathers all the monkeys into a car and drives them to an airfield, and he puts the monkeys on a plane to fly off.
Come out with your hands in the air!
But the evil military thugs arrest Broderick, but the monkeys of course use their piloting skills that they've learned to fly the plane themselves off the airstrip and off to safety.
I'm taking this thing to Mexico.
Born free as the wind blows.
Getting close to the top, and at number 2 it's Nomads. Proof that even a great director like John McTiernan can make a really bad first movie and still go on to make the likes of Die Hard and Predator. In many ways it's inspiration for us all. His first weird move is about a doctor who gets possessed by the ghost of a recently deceased anthropologist. This anthropologist is supposed to be French, so naturally they asked Irishman Pierce Brosnan to play him.
No more keep there.
The Doctor starts to see visions of Brosnan's final week of his life, where he attempts to settle down in the suburbs with his wife, only for it to be interrupted by street punks determined to make his life a living hell. During this fateful week, Brosnan becomes obsessed with this gang of degenerate punks, taking photos of them from afar like he's spying on some herd of exotic wildebeest. And he describes the gang to his wife that he is fascinated in them because they remind him of the far-off cultures he has photographed in his travels around the world.
They're nomads. Nomads. Nomads, yes, like all of them. Like every place we've lived for the last 10 years.
Here?
Yes, here now in this city, in the middle of a modern city. They go from one party to the next. One restaurant, one gas station, one hotel. These people live in parking lots.
They don't keep off the grass when it is clearly stated in the park that you should do so. They make humming noises as I go by, but then when I turn around they stop humming, pretending I'm just hearing things. The movie is all over the place with you just following around this guy who ends up being killed by the gang, but to be fair, he kind of deserves getting beaten in a way. Did he really expect he was going to stalk a bunch of youths and not end up getting happy slapped? Brings us to numero uno, and it is The Men's Club, a stage play disguising itself as a film, which is always a bad sign in my experience. It stars Roy Scheider, who's a married man but likes to cheat on his wife, and creepily tells his buddy, who also likes to cheat on his wife, hey, why don't we start a club where we get all these other creepy men together and meet up and talk about cheating on their partners and tell us the reasons for doing it.
I'm talking about a men's club. Regular guys, a lawyer, a real estate, a professor.
Yeah, maybe we can take our tops off and take turns wrestling each other. What? You know, it makes me question whether Roy Scheider likes sleeping around, or if he gets off more from hearing other men's stories of their conquests. There are story problems in the men's club, the main one being there isn't a story. The group just meet up at a house and we listen to them for a very long period, giving long monologues about all the women they've slept with.
One night, Marilyn invites a girlfriend home to dinner who looks something like her. Same curly brown hair, same blue eyes. Before dinner's over, Marilyn excuses herself and leaves. The girlfriend and I are left alone. It is glorious.
Dude, I'm really invested in this anecdote. And then there's a bit more time to kill, so they just decide to go to some brothel and start sleeping with some other women. Hang on a second, maybe though this is just a setup and terrorists are just about to come in and take over. But no, they just keep bedding women, and then inexplicably Harvey Keitel falls head over heels in love with one of the working girls and demands that she marry him.
I want to marry you!
When the hooker rejects Harvey's marriage proposal, he takes out his anger on a random colleague of hers. This further worries Harvey's favourite hooker, but Roy Scheider steps in and yells at the prostitute to get over here and marry this violent man.
Hey, you! Come over here.
There she is.
What have you got to say for yourself?
The ending sees a bizarre shotgun wedding where Roy Scheider gets drunk in the corner and lets it be known that the bride is a whore.
Take this woman.
Whore. Woman. Whore! Woman! I said whore!
Then the movie ends with Roy Scheider running now invigorated after drilling some hookers and looking forward to going back to his wife, who he now has a newfound appreciation for. Men's Club is a weird experience, seeing scene after scene of Leatherface himself, Roy Scheider, tonguing random women. It's like accidentally stumbling across a porno movie that stars your granddad.
You guys never do anything else anyway.
I'm not masturbating!
So there's 10 weird films for you. Now I'm going to go upload Ironweed to Pornhub. Bye!
Who he is ain't important. Has a problem with him. He's nobody.